Hello, hello. So, type 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me just fine, or you can just tell me. Make sure everything is good to go here. I think it is. We'll cross our fingers. I keep hitting things. Hi, Rowan! Oh, awesome. Hello, hello. Yay. Okay, good. Yay, we're at a 1. All right. Yay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yay, I'm so happy. Ugh, when I tell you it's been a day, it's been a day. It's been a day. Which is why we're not going to stay on very long, even though I would love to. Seems like I kept hitting roadblocks all dang day. So I'm well behind on what I wanted to do. There's a lot of projects I wanted to get done before Halloween, but alas. I feel like I've put out a video every day though. So, you know, we're going to call it good. We're going to call it balanced and even and good. And you know what? Halloween happens every year. So just because I didn't get to do many things that I wanted to doesn't mean I can't do it next year. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. So, yay, I'm glad everybody can hear. I kind of want to give it a few more minutes until everybody can kind of filter in to make sure that we're not starting without them, because I did say 6 p.m. So we have about 7 minutes, but that gives us time to chit chat and hang out for a little bit. If you have your coffee, your drink of choice, go ahead and grab it and enjoy. Get yourself a little snack. But yeah, today we're going to go over a really cool and interesting deck that I've been playing around with for a little bit. And I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on that too. Hi, Ashley! Yes, the dual cameras as I'm hitting it. I'm going to work on a better, more strategic setup, but this is what I've got so far. It's working so far. But yeah. Oh, Dia de los Muertos. Yes. That would be a really good time for the reading, for the Ancestors reading too. So we'll see. I'm hoping to get that done. And I also need to get November's pick a card reading started too. Lord. When I tell you this month went by so fast, I don't even know where it went. Like I remember waking up being excited that it was October 1st, and then now we're here. So it's frustrating. Oh, hi, Han. Nice to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Oh, all the people I'm recognizing. I love this. Our little community. It's fantastic. Awesome. I hope everyone is fantastic. I hope everyone's been doing good, getting last minute things done. And I went to Spirit today to get some last minute things. I had to get 2 wig caps. And then we got some gravestones, because I put mine out too soon and they all blew away in the storm. So that's fun. I don't know where they went. But I'm trying to edit together a Halloween decor video for you guys that I have been working on since August, the end of August actually, just filming little things. I don't know how well it's going to look or what's going to come of it, because like everything's kind of just been chaotic with that, with the storms and then everything blowing away, so now I have to redo some things. So it should be fun though. I'm excited. You'll get to see inside my house. You'll get to see our outdoor setup, and then I'm probably going to do like a quick little video when we get dressed up for the trick-or-treaters. So just to show like the what it will look like when they come, and then our costumes. I don't know if the husband wants to be filmed, but you'll get me at least. Oh, Oh, thanks, Rowan. Yeah, I'm pretty good with having a good workload. Like I work well with kind of putting pressure on myself, but at the same time, like I overdo the expectations. Like I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna get this done, and then I'm gonna get this done, and then like life happens, and I'm like, well, crap. All right, I guess I'm not doing that. But then I get frustrated that I didn't get to do all the things, and it's just, yeah, I'm all right. And I didn't get my stitches out for my tooth, so that was fun. I went on Friday to, I thought going to get them out, but no, it was just a checkup. It was like, oh yeah, no, we're just going to take a quick look to make sure everything's healing right, and then we'll set you up with the stitch removal. And I'm like, all right, cool. So like I got myself all worked up for nothing. Story of my life. Oh yeah. Hi, Surian. I feel like I never pronounce your name right. I feel like I'm always saying it wrong. I'm so sorry if I am. Spooky month really did fly by. Absolutely. November spooky month round 2. Absolutely. Hello, Mr. Philed. Oh my goodness. Hello, Australia. Another place I want to go so bad. Hi, Tamara. Hello. Oh, hi, Sable. Nice to see you. Yeah, it's quite interesting. It might be hard for beginners. They might get a little overwhelmed, but like it's nothing that you can't like work through. It sometimes trips me up a little bit because I don't typically read reversals or anything like that, but the way you're supposed to read it is like with both dualities together. You're not supposed to see it as a positive or a negative. You're supposed to see all of the meld them all together. So that little in-between space, which is quite interesting. I still don't know how I feel about having all of that on one card, just because me personally, I get a little like overwhelmed, overstimulated with all of the images, but it makes sense to me. It looks good and the art is really cool. So yeah, we'll just wait a couple more minutes. We got like 1 minute left before we're going to go into it. But yeah, awesome. I love to see everybody in here. So also don't forget to like the stream. It pushes it out to the algorithm to more. So fun. More fun things to add to the list. But yeah, so I forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, it's an interesting deck and I'm excited. All right, it's 6 o'clock. Let's get into it. So hello, if you've not seen my face before, if you don't know who I am, welcome. My name is Natasha, and it's fantastic to have you here. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Tarot of Oppositions. This is by Pierluca Zizzi and Michele de Aloisio. I tried. It's published by Lo Scarabeo and it retails for $26.95 and it is in those languages, which is fantastic. The packaging is great too. I like the duality that you already get to see on the box cover, and then when you open it up, more duality. It's awesome. So same card, different feel. And same card, different feel right there. So it's just really fun. It's a unique take on the deck because you're getting both positive and negative. So I'm going to read you from the guidebook so I don't confuse you of the whole meanings throughout, but Oh, mystified. Oh, I get it. I get your name now. I love that. Oh my God. I just got it. Love that. You're welcome. Doing my job. So here we can see we've got the table of contents. And so I'm just going to read you what this is all about. The Tarot of Oppositions allows you to observe two different aspects of each card at the same time. This is not an invitation to see these aspects as separate, rather as inevitably good or this is not an invitation to see these aspects as separate, perhaps as inevitably good or inevitably bad. Rather, it is an invitation to see these polarities inherent in each card as something harmonious that leads away from extremes and toward a balance. There is much to be learned from this harmony of opposites, both for the study of tarot in general and for interpretation. The meaning of a card changes as the focus moves from one polarity to another, while always staying within the boundaries of its own nature. All of this can be seamlessly integrated with traditional meanings as well. The artistic premise at the core of the Tarot of Oppositions allows the reader to embrace the spiritual law that connects what is above with what is below, and what is positive to what is negative. Those who use this deck may be able to reconcile the meanings that advise caution and reflection with those that confidently push toward better scenarios, casting light and shadow, dangers and advantages together. For the sake of clarity, we refer to the two halves of the cards as positive and negative, but there is no judgment implied. So in the deck, you'll see the separation of positive and negative, but it's just so you guys don't get too confused. Think of a battery with its positive and negative terminals. Both are necessary for full energy flow. Positive alone just sits there inherent and does negative. Goodness, positive negative is what gets things moving. At the center of each card is a liminal space where the two polarities dialogue, often allowing the passage of objects, symbols, and energy from one extreme to the other. Give special attention to these in-between places. There are truths and breakthroughs to be found in the energy that flows from one polarity to the other. And then it gives you an example reading here that uses both the positive and the negative cards. It's a whole different spread there. And then it gives you a reading example to kind of help you out with that. And then it goes right into the card meanings. You have a basic little blurb, and then the positive, and then the negative. So very interesting way to set up the guidebook. And then it'll go into the different languages right after the sword suit. Yeah. So a lot more information considering this is a Lo Scarabeo deck. It's not just the paper pamphlet. So I really like that because this will help you a lot to kind of figure out how you want to work with the cards. Can we talk about this back though? This back is stunning. I absolutely love it. It is a gloss. It's not too glossy, but it is a gloss. You can kind of see the reflections there. So let's see. Hello, Callie Pet Care. Hi, Practicing Human. Nope, we're just starting. How dare you have caps on, Rowan? How dare you? Okay, here we go. So this might be interesting for me to kind of flip through because you kind of have to turn it to see both images. So I don't know how we want to do it, but I'll keep the positive on top and the negative on bottom, and you can kind of see the space in between. It might make more sense that way. I'm really loving the barely there borders. It just gives you enough on each side to let you know what it is and what suit it is once you get there. Some of them on the negative side are a little creepy, but they work for me. I feel like sometimes the dualities of the cards can indicate a creepier vibe. But the art itself, the artwork, is really cool. It's not hyper realistic, but it gives enough to where you like understand that it's not cartoony. Oh, the vice versa tarot? Yeah. Oh, jeez. That's been on my list too. I think one view is in the front, and then on the back it's another view, right? So it's quite intriguing that way. This Lovers card was cool too, that it's again playing on that duality. This is interesting. You can see how, like, malnourished and everything the lion is, and the soil's different. Everything looks darker. Yeah, Rowan, it definitely will help you remember the meanings. I typically don't read reversals just because I feel like in the way that I read, I use a lot more intuition with cards around it. So this would be great too. Like if this is more, if that lands on top like a reversal, then I feel like that's a more, the more prominent energy that's going on with the card. But I feel like this is the perfect balance between using all of the meanings with the cards, if that makes sense. So like if you don't tend to read reversals, you still see what they would be, if that makes sense. I'm probably not explaining it right, but it gives you more to work with as well. Sometimes it's hard for people to read reversals because they can't visualize what the opposite or what the inverse would be for the card. So it's harder to read that way. But this might be a good practice deck for that, to help build that intuition up with the other meanings. Because again, they're never inherently bad. They're never inherently good. It's all about that space between and what needs to be more focused, right? Like if we're having a problem, what maybe we need to work on, be the top focus. And I'm lagging. I'm sorry. You want me to turn them sideways? Will that work for you guys? Or is that too hard? I like the crown falling off the tarot or tower. Jeez. Listen, my mind is not right tonight. I almost canceled this live. My mental health, it's just kind of taking a toll today. You're fine either way? Okay. This one was interesting. I mean, for me personally, whether you read the Sun card in a reverse state or not, like if it's reversed, it's still a really good card because it's the Sun card. It's like one of the only cards in tarot that still has a positive meaning being reversed, you know? Sideways is better. Okay, cups. The backgrounds that change on these are phenomenal. The stark differences. thank you. I appreciate it. All right, we'll keep it sideways. Exactly, Rowan. Yeah, that's how I feel. As I put the... I don't know what you mean, mystified. Like that? This one got me. That one broke me a little bit. And this one was interesting, being Seven of Cups, the stark differences between the two. Yeah, Rowan, like let me tell you, the dreams I have had in the past couple nights have not been fun. So, it's taken a toll. I feel like I'm getting quite a lot of downloads, but I'm not really remembering what the downloads were, and that's stressing me out because I know there's important information in there. But I've had really terrifying dreams last night, so... Yeah. I can't believe Halloween is this weekend either. Literally, what the hef? This face, though, like... That is some stuff right there. Stuff of nightmares. You do not want to cross that face. I like how this hand is very gentle, and then this is just like grabby McGrabberson. So yeah, they're definitely playing a lot with the imagery and the meanings. My mind is mush too. Very much so. Hence why I can't read tonight. I can't focus. We're just having fun. We're just gonna have some fun. Yeah, that it's just the one coin. Yeah, absolutely. When I was thinking about doing the unboxing video for this, I was like, how am I going to film this? Like, I want to make sure that everything is seen, but like, again, you have two different ways of doing it. So I'm glad that we're doing it live. That way we can kind of figure it out as we go. Exactly. Relax and chilling night. I need it. I've got my coffee over here. Much needed coffee. Coffee talk. Dating myself. I have a niece who I used to babysit, and I would always have my coffee, and she'd always ask, "Oh, is that your coffee?" And I'm like, "Yep, I had my coffee." And every time from then on, I had to talk like that. I had to say coffee like that. Otherwise, she'd ask me, "No, you're not saying it right. You have to say it the way you say it." And that's when I remember I have to watch how I talk around toddlers. I love kids, but I I don't have the patience for my own. And then I'm always afraid that like I would mess them up mentally. Uh, like I feel like every parent has that fear though. And even with the King of Pentacles though, his face is still very, it's not as scary. It's just more stern, I feel to me, because like for me the King of Pentacles is very gentle and generous, and like he knows how hard he worked to how to get where he was, so it's like, you know what, you need some help, I'll help you out. But like I feel like this is like, did you blow through all your money? What'd you spend it on? Like, are you serious? Like, why do you expect me to help you now? Kids are a joy. Kids absolutely are a joy. But oh my God. I like, okay, so we have 2 dogs, we have 4 chickens, we have a bazillion plants, and then we have been adopted by 4 cats now. Just neighborhood cats. That one has been a member of the family now for a while. And then the other 3 have just stuck around and now they demand to be fed. So, like, I have a lot of responsibilities. I can't imagine, you know, what having an actual human being would be like, because sometimes having all of these critters, I'm just like, oh my God, you kids, you're too much. But yeah, they are a joy. Kids are an absolute joy, but like it's not for me. And I like this duality too. So it's like a friendly competition, and then like we're fighting. We're like going, medieval. A lot of strong energies are converging for this weekend. I sense something is going to happen with everyone who is sensitive this weekend because of the energy. Absolutely. We are kids at heart. Oh my gosh, yes. Which is why I'm an aunt. Exactly. You're an aunt, so you can just be like, okay, bye. Have fun with the tantrum. And I like being able to spoil them. I like being able to be there for like their fun events and like their birthdays and stuff like that. Like I am the aunt that will absolutely 100% be there for those kids, but like not gonna have the same energy if I had my own. Like plus I have fibro, and the chances of me having a good pregnancy are very slim, and then there's that worry of passing on that genetics. I wouldn't feel right about that. Some of these images form a natural lemniscate with their reciprocals. Oh, yeah. I don't know whether I like reading with it as I'm easily distracted. Yeah, same. And the artwork is like already half the card, but it's very interesting. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was at. Cause again, like it's hard for me to focus like on one thing, cause now I'm like looking at so many different things, but it's something that you can easily kind of like work your way into. Take it one scene at a time and then kind of see the in between. Empath energies, yeah. You got a little animal and plant farm. Yeah. And then the husband is like trying to get me to go to another like rescue. And like, oh, we could have another dog. No, not right now. Like, if I could, I would save all of the critters. I really would. I loved this. I thought this was very dynamic and very powerful. And I went looking at plants today and I didn't take home anything. So, like, am I maturing? I don't know. Hi, Robin. Yeah, break out the black crystals, the salt, the salt. Yeah, being a badass tarot reading aunt, absolutely. I really did love the Queen of Wands. This was interesting too for the Three of Swords. Because, like, this one, you know you've lost some stuff. You've got some emotional stuff going on, things in your head, you know, heartbreak, all of that stuff. But then when you look at the other side, it's like, you know what? We're going to pick ourselves up. We're going to get better. Like, yeah, it happens and, you know, we've been through it, but we're strong. We're going to keep moving on. We're going to go for it. So, I mean, the way that you can read these cards are just endless. And then this one was beautiful too. Usually swords are like the most kind of sad and a little bit more emotionally draining cards. A lot of them people don't want to get. But to me, I find them kind of beautiful if you read them similar like this. You know, a lot goes on in our heads. And this one was cool too, this Eight of Swords. Feeling trapped and then like actually allowing yourself to leave. Knowing that you can get free. Absolutely, Tamara. There's a meme that has like that Steven Tyler from Aerosmith and he's all decked out and and it's like, why does he look like he's that that aunt that will just bring over the tarot cards and a bottle of wine and help you work through your chakras? And I was like, oh, that's me. When my nieces and nephews get old enough, they are going to have a lot of spiritual help. Yeah, I think so too. I think this is definitely a great deck to help you intuitively learn the reversal meanings. Because again, like if your deck is just the continuous scene of this, it's hard to kind of visualize what the reversal or the opposite, oh my God, stop lagging, the opposite image would look like. And so then in turn, it would be hard to figure out what the opposite meaning would be. But this is to help you work through everything together with both energies, positive and negative, to help you see the duality and the harmony between the two. But again, you can use these cards however you want, which is the great thing about them. And if this doesn't remind you of the playing cards, kings and queens, I love that. All right, let's see how they shuffle. Oh, that would be interesting, Sable. I don't have that kind of time. People talk about edging their cards all the time, and I'm like, no, not because I'm gonna screw it up. Favorite or particular tarot card that you look for in any new decks? Yes, I do. The Nine of Swords? Oh, wow. I always look for the Star, and I always look for the Devil. So basically the two, well, no, they're not right one after the other, but the Devil and the Star. The Devil, and also Death too, I'm not going to lie. Because it's kind of indicates to me how I can use that deck and who I can use it with. So if it's too intimidating, I know that I'm not going to be able to use it with people who are newer to tarot. And then the star card, I always like to see how they represent it because it's such a hopeful and beautifully done card that I always want to see what they put their spin on to it. But yeah, I always look for the devil, and I always look for the death, and I always look for the star, just because I kind of feel like that's going to allow me to know what I can use the deck for. Because if it's too intimidating, the people who are new to tarot or the people who are still very skeptical about the tarot will definitely not vibe well with it. And if it is, if the death card is too scary or too literal looking, the same goes for that. But if the star card is like just right, it might be okay to like combine all of it for that one person. So like I get a lot of interesting people to ask me for readings in my own personal life. So I know their background and like their religious background most of the time, or like whether they are brand new to tarot or they are like dipping their toes in. I don't want to scare them off. So I want to know that I can use a deck that will be meaningful for them, that they can kind of interpret themselves as I'm letting them know what's going on, but that won't scare them away. And a lot of the times I pull out my Everyday Witch Tarot because it's super easy for them to understand what those meanings are in relation to the artwork. So, but that's what I always look for. If it's too intimidating, I might not be able to use it on newer clients. If it's just right, then I can use it pretty much on everyone. If it's very intimidating, I know that only a select amount of people will want to work with it. All right. Oh, we're reading for the Fool. And I didn't mind how it shuffled. It's a thicker cardstock. I don't think we went over the cardstock. So it is a thicker cardstock. It's not too thick, but it's not too thin either. It's like right in that sweet spot, especially with that coating. So we'll put it with the positive side up, and we're going to read for both the positive and the negative. All right. Hopefully I can like enunciate. I look for Death and the Magician. The Three of Swords. Yeah, that's always an interesting one to look for, Rowan, because it's either like almost an exact identical symbol looking like thing for the Rider-Waite-Smith, or it's completely something new and amazing and exciting. Hello, Ethan! I asked because that kind of determined if I would purchase the deck or not too. Yeah, absolutely. Look at me making it 2 nights in a row. Woot woot! I was ready to drop coins on this because it was perfect for clients, but that typecasting is a no for me. Hope this concept is done again in a better deck. Oh, I see. Are you talking about like diversity? Because yeah, that is a lack for me. It's very similar to like what the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is, but I don't know. I would want more from it. I think that is one of my complaints. Give me all the weird decks. Ashley, you got it. Let's see. I like to see if creators do something different with the 8 of Wands because it's so simple. It is. This one was interesting with the kid running through the fence, I think it was. I'll have to look back at it. But like he was running through the fence just fine in the positive, and then on the negative side, he was like tripping through it. So it was interesting, that symbol. I think it's a good learning deck too. Vice versa. I'm going to have to take a look at that one. I feel if I connect to the High Priestess, it's good because she represents me. Absolutely. My favorite decks with brilliant artwork is Ciro Marchetti's. Oh, have to look into that. All right, so let's see what they write for the Fool. So you can see it. Read along with me and read my mispronunciations. Whether you travel to unknown destinations in the world or in your mind, you will encounter wonderful energies and forces that you would not experience by standing still in the places you already know. Explore alone or in the company of those who will help you on your journey. So the positive side Let's see. Confidence in the future and a soul that is renewed every day will prepare you for new adventures. Waiting for the right moment to walk confidently into the world is propitious, but only if you have already accumulated the best energies at your disposal. Be visionary and pure. Always listen to the voice of the wind and and follow its direction. So then we have the negative side here. Looks like he's rushing. Looks like things are chaotic. It says, movement is not always propitious. Trust others, but beware of those who push you toward places and situations that could harm you. It is probably wiser to wait for better times in which you will have more energy, less recklessness, and less haste. So you can kind of see with the guidebook that it's not exactly like black and white, that they kind of work together with both the positive and the negative. And it's really good for beginners to kind of just like sink their teeth into kind of learning both dualities at once, but it's not very overwhelming. However, I could see that the the imagery, good Lord, the imagery, it can be kind of chaotic and a little overstimulating. It might help to kind of just cover the bottom up whilst you're reading the first section and then flip it over, cover the bottom up. However, it might help you learn. But I really enjoy this. It's really interesting to work with because of the dualities in that imagery. And then that liminal space right there, it's kind of interesting to see what you can pick up on. The differences between a dove and a weasel, and then the sacks here as well. So there's a lot of, and then like kind of ratty clothes. They're not really matching. Like the haste here of just like picking up and going might not be the best idea. But at the same time, if you prepare and you plan things out, you can still take that risk, just being a little bit more prepared. So you can kind of read it both ways. Both meanings for one reading, if that makes sense. It's a very interesting deck. I'm now very intrigued about the vice versa tarot. But like the same with just the Six of Pentacles too. Like there's a lot going on that you can kind of pick up on with your intuition just by reading them both together and kind of seeing what's going on. But what do you guys think? Let me know. I'm super interested. Sorry, I'm going to catch back up on the comments here. Always look at the Star, Death, Devil, Ten of Swords, and Three of Swords. Awesome. There are decks like the Thread of Fate tarot deck that replace the heart with a bird, and it reminds me of my chickens too much to see the swords going through a bird. Oh, that's the worst. So again, we have chickens too. So like, I can't look at that the same. Like my husband will still eat chicken just fine, and I get it. Like, you know, he can compartmentalize the two, but like for me, I'm like, I'm already a vegetarian, but like then I'm like, I'm not cooking chicken ever in this house. Like I won't do it. That's all you. Oh gosh. Have you seen the Mars Tarot on Kickstarter? No. I need to get on Kickstarter more, but at the same time, it's like Etsy. Like I gotta stop because I will go bankrupt. There's so many decks on Etsy that are in my list that you guys have requested. And then the ones that I do go to get, they're either done with their printing or the Kickstarter ended and now I gotta wait until the next round. It's okay. It's all right. I'm not one of those crazy vegetarians or vegans that are like, you know, I do it for personal reasons and for health reasons. So like, you know, everybody, you do you, as long as you're, you know, doing everything the, safe consumption way. Like, it doesn't really bother me. Like, we're all in the food chain. I have done one Lenormand deck, and it's the Cute Lenormand, or Cutie, something like that. I'm looking into getting more. If there's requests for specific ones, please let me know, because that is a side of divination that I don't really do. I'm still learning that, but I don't often get requested for a lot of them. So if there's a specific Lenormand deck that you would like me to review or unbox or take a look at, I would absolutely love to do that. I just need to know what ones that you guys are interested in, because again, that's something that like we haven't really done on the channel, so I don't really know like what would be the most beneficial one to like pick up. Like, I'm not just gonna pick one up on a whim and then you guys not want to see it, you know what I mean? I think this concept is so intriguing, and I dig the artwork, but it is a lot of visual stimulation that I wish the cards were larger so that I can see the images better. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I agree. Larger cards would help me focus on the images I'm supposed to. Yeah, I definitely see your point to that for sure. Like an oracle size deck, like a bigger deck, that would be really cool. Or like the larger size tarot cards, that would be really cool too. Have you seen the Good Karma Tarot? If you're talking about the Good Karma Tarot, absolutely. It's back behind there. I love it. It's such a gentle deck. I haven't been using it that much lately because I've been all about my Halloween deck that I absolutely stopped shaking. I love this deck so much. And I only really use it during this time of year, so I like use the heck out of it. Yeah, check out, if you want to see a unboxing, check it out on my tarot playlist. And then I also talk about it in my gentle tarot top decks video too. It's definitely one worth getting if you can find it. I wanted to do it as the giveaway when we hit 10K, but I literally could not purchase it anywhere. It was like sold out everywhere. So then we did a vote on the next decks and then the intuitive tarot one. So I think my next giveaway will probably be when I hit 20K, probably. Unless there's something in between there. I'm working on a lot of things behind the scenes. I just opened up a Twitch thing. So I'm now on Twitch. You can find me there. I haven't started going live over there yet, or streaming, I guess is how you call it over there. I do want to start doing that over there. Just doing readings, or we can just talk about whatever. We can even like talk about like Cosmos. We can go through Cosmos horoscopes and all of their little articles that they have on their website. Because now that I have seen that Cosmopolitan deck, I'm going to swap the scene real fast since it's my face. Since I have seen that deck, I really want to go and kind of see what their astrology section looks like, and maybe see what is going on over there, who the editors are and all of that, to see if I can place them somewhere else. Because the Cosmo Tarot was done by a practicing witch, which is fantastic. But then again, I'm like, how much of it was your input and how much was scrapped due to what the company wanted? The tea. Yeah, I don't really watch Twitch live. I see a lot of videos that like are from Twitch that come over to YouTube. And it's very intriguing to me. I like the concept. I like the idea of just like having fun all day, and they're a little bit more lax on what you can say and what you can do over there. So it might lend itself to more creative opportunities for us. Like if we wanted to, like check out different, media forms, if we want to maybe like try to read a book or go through books. I don't know. I'm going to check out their copyright stuff and figure it out. But like, it might be a good, fun time to like stream and talk about like, you know, what's your favorite witchy book? What's your favorite tarot book? Well, let's go through and like really do like some deep dives in the books. Whereas YouTube, it might be a little bit harder to do big deep dives into bigger media, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know. We'll play around. We'll experiment with it. We'll figure out what we want to do. I don't think I can like do a cooking stream. I don't know how that would work. I mean, I guess I probably could set it up. That might be interesting to do like a witchy kitchen setup where we cook intentional food together for a couple hours. Like we can do actual meals, and then we can do like desserts. I'm gonna work on a pumpkin pie soon. Also, there's an apple pie I gotta make. There's a lot of intentional recipes that we can do. We can talk about breaking down our favorite comfort foods and why there are comfort foods with the ingredients that are in them, such as like the spices or, you know, the fruits and veg, that sort of a thing. And I might be able to set this up down there for that. If not, I can just do videos on that as well. But it might be fun to like have some like, you know, just be in the kitchen with me, and stream it there. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm pretty open, to ideas and if whatever you guys want to see. But yeah, we'll do a lot more readings. Like, this is my Christmas month. So like I've been working nonstop trying to get as much content out for you as I could. And then the new release decks as well. So I've been trying to do everything, but you know, life and the panorama and all of that also happens too. So, Halloween might just go into next month too. So, I was planning on making sugar cookies. I don't know if I have time, and then decorating them for Halloween, but we could just make witchy cookies. Like, it doesn't have to be Halloween themed per se. It could just be witchy cookies, you know, like a little cauldron and a witch hat, and call it good. Let's see. Oh, did a restock on it. Awesome. Finally. So is the Tarot of Oppositions as good or better than the vice versa tarot in between tarot decks? I would not know, because I feel like with the vice versa, isn't that the one where one scene is on one side of the card and then... So one scene is on one side of the card and then the other scene is on the back. I don't know how that would work for a lot of you. It might be actually better, depending on how you use it. So like if you don't want to look at the cards or know the cards that fall out, that might be harder. Everybody has a preference. So I don't know. I'll have to look into getting both of those if that's something you want me to do, and I can do a comparison video on that. Absolutely willing to do that. Love the gothic vibe of your black hair. Oh, thank you. It needs to get retouched. It's starting to fade. It's just a demi-permanent. So thank you. Yep, Halloween. Thanks, Natasha, for making my lunchtime here. First time catching. Oh, yay! Well, I'm so glad that you came. I'm going to try to figure out different times. The dogs see a neighbor. Different times so that way we can all kind of trickle in and out and have more of an opportunity to have more people, subscribers in. The transition. Yeah, right? I love it. I think the Cosmopolitan Tarot could have been all the higher ups changing what they thought would look good, but not understand what the card structure is. Absolutely. Like there could have been like so many different hands in the pot, cooks in the kitchen. And that's why I felt bad, but at the same time, not really, because for me, I feel like if you know how terrible their, I don't even want to say it like that. Just if you already know what kind of company they are, then I feel like it's also kind of selling your soul and maybe your integrity to do that. But at the same time, I could see you going in with like with really high hopes that maybe they'll take all of your stuff seriously and want to really make your, like, I'm really interested to know how this deck came about, because like, whilst it isn't like the worst thing in the world, it is my least favorite deck that I've ever seen. And I've seen some really interesting decks. So that's saying something to me. But the other caveat to that is, had it not been a big name like Cosmopolitan, I could see it being somebody's deck that they were just maybe trying something new, trying to see what worked. Maybe their vision was a little off, but like I could see it being something maybe they were like their first deck ever. So I don't know, it was really torn, but at the end of the day, I feel like it was a cash grab and a huge insult. And so it's very interesting to see the different comments and the reactions that were in that video, because they pretty much 99% of you hated it. And I'm glad that I wasn't off base with all of that. Do you have the Halloween tarot? This Halloween tarot? Yes, I do. I love it. It's my baby. I have this one with the tuck box, and I'm so upset that I didn't get like the bigger version, like with the tin and everything, but it's fine. I love it so much. It's so fun and nostalgic. It just really makes my heart sing. And I almost spilled my coffee. I did spill my coffee. Of course I did. Like, this is my favorite card. Oop. The little Ace of Pumpkins in a pumpkin pail. Oh, love it. Let's see. Yeah. Also love that I tried ASMR. Please continue if you feel called to. I listen to whispers every day, so calming. That's great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to have to try to figure out like different little visuals and different sounds, and I've been told my voice is very calming, so like maybe I can like integrate that a little bit more, integrate different viewings of the cards with it. I'm going to figure it out, but that was my first time ever kind of playing around with ASMR, so I'm very happy that a lot of you seem to like it. It's just different. It's, you know, it's not something that I do, so I'm glad that it was at least well received enough to want more videos. So I'm glad. I'm very happy with that. Having breakfast, listening to, aw, I love that. Thanks. I'm glad you said what you said on the Cosmo deck. That was the truth. Yeah, you know, and that's what I do this for. Like, I'm going to tell you my opinion, and at the end of the day, you know, things are just my opinions and my thoughts, but I'm also going to tell you what I don't like about it. And the thing of it is everybody's going to have a different opinion, right? Everybody's going to kind of like really like something or not really care, or they're just going to be like, this is amazing. So my opinion and my thoughts on it are just, you know, and again, say it with your full chest. Like, if that's something that you love or if it's something that you hate, like, I'm always going to mention it. And then same goes for, you know, all my key points. I always point it out. This one, if this deck was based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, which it didn't say, but I'm assuming it was, then I get why there was no diversity. However, it's an updated version, right? So, like, I feel like maybe that should have been included. Just a thought. I'm always so surprised with the dichotomy of people who like get so offended that I bring it up or get so pressed. And it's like, why? Like, I'm just calling something to your attention. Is it uncomfortable? That says a lot more about you than it does me. So, yeah, I like being authentic and telling you how I feel about the decks, telling you how I feel about how they work for me, because if it is doing that for me, it might do that for you. And also, you know, we're all individual people. We all have different individual preferences. But if I tell you like, okay, this is the card stock, and you're like, I don't vibe with that card stock, then you know. I don't know. I don't typically watch other people's review videos or flip throughs just because I don't want to inevitably take on their way of doing things. Because somehow if you like, you can kind of like inadvertently, you know, copy how they do things or their the way of their structure or the videos, and I don't want to do that. But I do like watching other tarot readers just because it's nice to have somebody else take the wheel and not have my mind work on my mind. But yeah, so I don't really typically know what other flip through unboxers, reviewers talk about or how they do it, but this is just how I've done it and how I've always done it. And I feel like these are the things that I would have wanted to know back in the day when I was starting out. So, you know, is it a pip deck? Is it, you know, going to be hard to shuffle? Is it going to vibe with me? Because again, sometimes you don't get to see a lot of the cards before you purchase. So how do you know? And then again, your favorite cards, if you're choosing a deck and you see those cards and you don't like those decks or those cards in the deck, it might be a no for you. So yeah, it's just been very interesting to see everybody's opinions, everybody's thoughts. And I will always say I am not an expert. I don't consider myself an expert. I consider myself a connoisseur and a collector. You know, I didn't go to tarot school or anything like that. I didn't go to witchcraft and wizardry school. However, that would be awesome and I would sign up tomorrow. Yule baking. Make a Yule log type bread or cookies. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, you know, I do a lot of baking around this time. Like a lot. A lot of baking. So that would be kind of fun to incorporate a lot of what I traditionally do and kind of work it back into why it would be relatable for kitchen witchery. And for those of you who don't know or haven't thought about it, kitchen witchery or hearth being in the hearth of the home. So food obviously is to nourish you, right? So how is that any different than energy? So whatever you put in your body, that's energy consumption, right? So why not make your food from scratch, be as wholesome and be full of intent as possible to just have every part of you nourished? So it's a great way to eat intentionally. I'm going to try to do more of that because I've been so busy and doing everything else that I haven't really cared to cook with intent. But once you do, the dinner or the meal just feels so much more filling and you get fulfilled by it. It tastes better. I can't speak today, but there's a reason why like they're called comfort food. And there's a reason why like your grandma's recipe and the way she cooks it is the only way it tastes good. Or like your mom's special dish. If anybody else were to try to make the dish, it didn't taste right. But when she does it, it's perfection every time. There's a reason. You put love and intent in your food. I mean, you could also do it the opposite way and put, you know, ill will in your food as well. But most of us are going to put goodwill, love, protection magic into the food. And a lot of us do it without even knowing. And a lot of us do it subconsciously. And then the more you focus in and watch what you're doing when you're working with your food and what you're putting in it, it will all make sense. So that's another reason why I kind of wanted to spend November in the kitchen more with you guys, because I feel like we can all learn a little bit together how intent and food coexist, and how we can make our lives a little bit more nourished in that way, in that regard. I consider myself a little bit of a kitchen witch, not too much, but like I kind of dabble in every area of witchery that there is. But green witch and kitchen witch are very similar, or I guess you could say cottage witch. So, you know, using your herbs, using what you grow in the ground, and then putting that in your food. It's such a big difference than using, you know, store-bought food. Think about all the times that you had to go out and eat and that you had a very poor meal. How was it cooked? Was it cooked because they were stressed out, overworked, anxious? Is that how you felt when you left? Like, it's just interesting the way you can connect the dots to like the energy that you're getting and picking up on, especially if you're an empath. Salt. Always salt. Let's see. I'm so mad I get the mini Halloween in the tin, and then immediately after my deck arrived, I saw there's a full book set. Oh, yeah, a Meteor guidebook would be fantastic. I love the timing of the live as I have my lunch break, have my coffee and sandwich, and relax. Natasha, you're so uplifting. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. Like, you guys don't know how much you guys are doing for me right now. Like, my mental state has been, like, literally had panic attacks today. So thank you for, like, being patient with me tonight and, like, letting me just be the crazy that I am. Because, listen, like I said earlier, I almost canceled, but then I was like, that's not fair. Like, I miss everybody. I promised. Like... I can hang out and chill with everybody for an hour. It's okay. But like, when I tell you it's been. So I'm glad that like I can be that for you, but you guys are also that for me, is what I was trying to say. What tarot and oracle decks would you recommend for ancestral work? Ooh! Hold on, let me go grab it. I absolutely love it. Oof. The Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray, and it's not focusing. But I love this because it definitely has a lot of uses that pertain to not only just ancestry readings, but you know, you can use it for whatever you want. I think this was like my second oracle deck. But let me flip to the, so you can see the cards here. So you can see that there's just a bunch of different cultures represented. And it's not just like people, we have like the seasons, we have the moon, the sun, different symbols. So you can use these for a lot of different readings, not just Ancestor. You can use them as confirmation, daily pull. But it's just beautifully done. I love working with it. The guidebook is precious. It's like not precious as like, oh, cute, but like precious as in there's a lot of really good information in there. And like the diversity is here. Like, and it doesn't, it's not oh, we have to add that in. It's like, no, it's integral to the deck. So I feel like it was very well done, and I get really great readings out of these all the time. As far as tarot goes, I don't know if I have a specific tarot deck that I would use per se for that. I'm trying to look at what I've got here. I think honestly anything with like, if you have a specific like religious background, or like your family practiced a specific religious background, so say like your whole family has been Catholic and you know, that's what they believed in, maybe working with an angel deck, an angel tarot deck might be beneficial for you. If your culture is Celtic, maybe work with a Celtic deck. If you are working with indigenous ancestors that you have, then obviously I can't, but like if you are indigenous and working with indigenous ancestors, then work with something similar to that. But also the Sugar Skull Tarot that we had reviewed not too long ago, this month, right? The new one that came out, the Sugar Skull, where did it go? This one would be a fantastic one to work with too, because it does do a lot of talk of, you know, family lineage and your ancestors. And again, Dia de los Muertos, isn't that basically like, you know, talking and celebrating your ancestors? So that would be a good one. Same with the Dia de los Muertos deck. Santa Muerte by Fabio Lestrani. That would be a great one to work with too. So, I mean, it just is up to how you feel. And then possibly, or, you know, if you're wanting to work with a specific ancestor, so say I want to talk with my grandma and I want to celebrate her and do a reading with her, I would probably do a deck maybe that has a lot of hummingbirds in it, because that was her favorite animal. Or I would probably do a deck that had the theming that she was really interested in, and then connect with her through that. If you're just doing a generic ancestor reading, I think the best way to use would probably just be with a deck that you're already connected with. Because if you're connected to the deck, you're connected to your intuition, which is then in turn connected to spirit, which is connected to your ancestors, right? So it's that whole cycle. So I think regardless of what you choose, it'll work for you. But those are just a few of my suggestions. As far as Oracle goes, like that's going to be my number one that I have in my deck, or in my collection. But I also have a lot of like the angel oracle cards, the archangel ones. That would be fantastic too. Let's see. The Angels Among Us, even though that's a lot more angels and gods and goddesses, that would be fantastic too, just because you're working with like the spirit realm in that way. So yeah, just a couple of thoughts, just a couple different opinions. I'll move it back to my face. This is such a wonderful community. I love you guys so much. Sorry, I'm way behind. Let's see. Where am I? Okay. Yeah, get the Halloween deck, Syrian. It's fantastic. And it's not that expensive either. I thought it was going to be way more expensive, especially if you get the one in the tuck box. I think it was like $16 or something. Oh, child, that neck cream. Oh, God. Hogwarts, yes. Is there an actual tarot school somewhere? There's a lot of, like, online schools. I think Ethany is doing one, or is starting to. I think it might start next year. I'm not sure, but check that out. A lot of them are really expensive. But you're in luck. Soon, once all of this crazy is over with, I'm going to start my deep dive into tarot series. So we'll start with the major arcana, one card per video, about like 10 minutes hopefully, and we're just going to do it together. So my thought process is you take out your deck that you use, you get the card, so first one will be the Fool. So you take out your Fool card, I'll have my Rider-Waite-Smith, and then I'll also have like a more modern deck one. And then we'll look at the symbols. We'll deep dive as to what the images mean, what the symbols mean, the different meanings of the cards and the structure of the card, and then how it relates to the modern decks. So that way it's as interactive as I can make it without being in a live. So, which, I mean, we might be able to do a live one too, but we'll get to that. We'll try the full video first, so I can make it nice and cinematic for you guys. But that's my plan. So each card we'll go through, we'll do a really big deep dive. I'll give you a list of the resources, and then you guys can learn that way too, with each card at a time. That's how I learned. I needed to take it one card at a time and then just dive in, like use it. So that's coming. And then once the major's done, I'll see how we feel about doing each card in the minor, or if we just do suits. I also want to do deep dives on the court cards, because court cards seem to be very confusing for a lot of people too. So stick with me, be patient with me. This is something that I've been trying to get to for you guys for almost a whole year now. I've got like the full research, and that's it. But now that I've got all these programs, I'm excited to start implicating them and using that to my advantage, so that way you guys can learn in ways that you can learn. Like if you're a hands-on person, we've got ways to do the hands-on. Visual, I'm going to have visuals, and then you'll hear me speak it too. So I want to make sure I have all of that for you guys. That way, if there's a specific way that you learn, I'm covering all of the bases for you guys. I found this apple bourbon coffee cake that I want to try. Ooh, that sounds amazing. We even say things like this was made with lots of love. Same thing when you're crafting too. Like I crochet, and I do a lot of blankets. So I always make sure I'm only crocheting when I'm like in a good mood, in a happy mood. And if I get frustrated with the stitch, I put it down, walk away, and come back later when I'm like calm. So that way it really is like infused with love and happiness and comfort. Like there's so many ways that you can implicate like just little witchy things into your life. And a lot of you already do it without maybe thinking of it. You know, we still blow out birthday candles. Like that is the witchy of witchy things. We collect teeth when the kids lose their teeth. There's so many things that are ingrained in society that are basic witchcraft. And it's very interesting to see what families still do it, and like how it's implicated in everybody's lives. Even though they don't practice a specific craft, they still do it. It's funny. Let's see. It makes me so happy when they enjoy my cooking. Absolutely. That's the best thing. Like I love when I gift a lot of baked goods and food too over the holidays. And so when they sit there and they tell me it's good and that blah, 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 I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Like, thank you. And then of course me in the back of my head is like, it wasn't perfect. Like it didn't turn out the way that I pictured. But the fact is it's something that you spent time on, you put your love and energy into, and it tastes good, and they appreciate that, right? Let's see. Hi, Lourdes! Looking forward learning more recipes. Absolutely. Tarot cookbook? What? Now I need it. I'm going to have to look that up, because that would be fantastic. I know there's the author that did the Sugar Skull Tarot, did the martini or the tequila book, the drink bartender book. That looked interesting. Let's see. I'm going to have to look into that. Barnes & Noble. Okay. I will see you soon, Barnes & Noble. I need to do another trip out there. I did pick up this today at my local Michael's, so we will be having a video on this soon. Create your own tarot card here. So that's interesting. So that'll be coming. I love how tarot is becoming more mainstream and less taboo, and that's why I had high hopes for that Cosmo Tarot. But let me tell you, there are some things that seem like a cash grab. Oh, hummingbirds remind me of my grandpa, butterflies for my grandma. Oh, that's so sweet. Just so Alette, just don't overthink it. Don't like if you overthink it, it gets too complicated. Just go with your gut, what feels right, because ultimately that's all that matters. That's what's going to be um the correct message for you anyway. Oh, thank you. You guys are so welcome. Yeah, and that's the thing with those the different tarot schools and witchcraft schools and things that you see on like Groupon. I'm like, that looks shady. I don't know about that. Um, I mean, a lot of it's just trial and error too. Being a solitary that I am, I kind of just pick and choose the things that work for me within open practices. That's the key. But things that I've just always done, um, like the other day I was making, for the full moon, I was just doing a release spell, and I just kind of put different herbs on that I felt that worked, and however much I just put in, and it's kind of like, I feel like I'm going to call them the ancestors, or just in my head and just being like, yeah, do that one. Okay, that one works. You do that one. So like, I don't know, there's things that like I've learned, but there's also things that I've done for years that just have made sense to me. And then I find out the components or the meanings behind them, and I'm like, oh, that's why. So yeah, it's just really interesting. The cash grabs, and then there are the authentic ones, and then there are people that are just gatekeepers. So it's really hard to like differentiate and figure out who is what. Just be careful when you go, and with any YouTube channel, with any social media presence, always do your research. If it doesn't sit right with your soul, there's a reason. There's always going to be people giving out spells or giving out like their educational things that work, and that's fine, but just do your research to back it up, because sometimes people do half spells, or some people don't give you the full step by step, or you just miss information. There's a lot of that going around, so just be careful. And even with things that I do and say, make sure that if it doesn't sit right with you, you do your research. Do your research in general. I try, if I'm going to do like this deep dive, I will list all of the resources that I use. I try to go by my gut and what sounds right and feels right to me. I started out in learning the craft through Wicca, but through books. And so a lot of it didn't sit right with me. So I kind of picked and chose what did. I still don't do full circle castings. I still don't call the quarters. There's a lot of things that like I don't do. I'm a very lazy witch. I'm a very lazy practitioner when it comes to a lot of things. However, I do like to have certain things in my workings. And sometimes if I forget there's a full moon, I will just chuck a water bottle out there and hope that it works. But, there's a lot of different ways of practicing. Just don't get caught up in aesthetic, and don't get caught up in the fact that you need to have all of these expensive items, because you don't. In reality, all you need is your intention and your energy, and that's it, and your visualization. But when it comes to more complex things, then obviously it might help to have more of those items. But a lot of the things too you can get at the dollar store, or like at a good discount store too, like, or make your own. Like, it doesn't have to be this $80 wand, or this cauldron that costs you $500 because it's actual cast iron and it's too big to fit in your living room. There's ways of doing it that are budget friendly that work just the same. And quite frankly, I find that the items that I make myself to use are more potent and work better because I put my intent into it and I'm the one using it. So keep that in mind too. I don't know why I got off track. I'm so sorry. Let me scroll back up. I'm sorry. Let's see. Any recommended websites for secondhand decks? No, I don't have any. I don't really know. Just be wary about secondhand decks and who you're getting it from, because you never know. You just never know. Make sure you ask if all the cards are there, and then if the guidebook is there, ask all of those like really specific questions, because sometimes it's not worth it. Typically, I'm okay with secondhand decks because I can give them a really good cleansing, but just be careful. If the vibe is off when you're talking to the person or when you're looking at the listing, then pass. Because sometimes it's hard to get a lot of that ick off. Sometimes, I'm just saying, in my experience. I love to thrift. I love to get things handed down to me. Love all of it, but you bet your butt it's all cleansed before I start using it. Everything. Like, I do not need any ick coming into this house. I worked too hard to keep it clean. Oh, pasta tarot. Oh my god. Pasta. I love pasta and bread. Those carbs. Anything carbs. More resources for court cards are definitely helpful. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to try my best to make it all work well. And I'm been putting it off because not only didn't I not have the equipment that I wanted at the time, I'm also a huge perfectionist. Like, if I'm putting something out, it needs to be like at least up to my state of perfection, or like good enough in my eyes that it's okay to be put out, because I don't want to have to redo it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of videos that I might want to redo later on in life, but like, if I'm going to put it out, especially if it's educational, I want it to be done right and done right once. So wait, the Pasta Tarot is a deck? Stop. Tarot and Tequila. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. Well, and okay, so when it comes to the court cards too, there's a lot of similarities in each card, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can take it. And then too, a lot of different decks have like their own little specific meaning for that card too. Like one deck could mean like the Page of Swords is like a curious student and somebody who's always wanting to learn more and like, you know, just wants to eat up all the information. In another deck, the main takeaway from the Page of Swords is like, it's a gossiper. It's somebody who can be very like all up in your business. So there's a lot of different, you know, meanings and a lot of things that have been modernized. So it's very interesting to see the author's take and then like the legit meaning. And then with the court cards too, there was this huge thing that like they all had to represent people in your life. So for instance, like, I can't even remember the specific eye color and hair color for each suit, but like there was like for the Cups suit, they were all blonde, blue-eyed, and they were supposed to represent those types of people in your life. Well, it's not really the modern take on that now. The modern take is like, well, yes, it could be that. It could also mean you know, the specific vibe and energy that card is giving off. It doesn't necessarily have to be about a specific person. Same with all of the cards in the deck. So, whilst I know that was like a big thing back in the day, more modern takes on it now have kind of like done away with that and moved away from it because it's easy. Because not everybody has those features anymore. Like, there's a lot of different colored hair people out there. There's a lot of different colored eye people out there. There's you can't look at the Rider-Waite's deck Smith and see everybody represented in that deck, the original. So you know what I mean? You can't really base specific features off of a card anymore. It's kind of been doing away with. But there are people who will gatekeep that to the end of days. And that's fine if that's what works for you and your practice. But I want to do the education series based upon like what's going on now, like the modern times, how to learn now. Because let me tell you, the gatekeeping thing drives me crazy. Tequila upright and reversed images. That's so awesome. Endless puns on pasta. Oh my gosh. The name of it, Divine Your Dinner. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, using your tarot. Okay. I have seen that. Now I gotta get it. I have gotta get it. We can actually get that book and then make the recipes together through that. I think that would be fun. I have the Hocus Pocus cookbook that I was going to do videos on this month. I've made a few of the recipes out of there to try, and it's a good book. However, there's some really missed steps. There's been the editing process didn't quite do their job because there's a lot of steps in some of the recipes that have made like completely obliterated a step, or like I got lost. So keep that in mind. However, the recipes are really good. Let's see. Exactly, Louise. Yeah, just use your intuition, because sometimes people are just doing a cash grab. And like, dude, get your coin, but like, again, like be ethical about it. Right? Like, okay, so I there's certain things that I believe that, yes, like salt, absolutely, like do a circle of salt, put your crystals on there. Like some things I feel are just way too ingrained in the Wiccan practice, which is fine. You're valid if that's what you believe in and that's what you practice. Fine. I'm not here to judge. However, it just doesn't work for me. I guess you would consider myself more eclectic and more like, you know, picky and choosy with what I do. But like, I'm so lazy. Like my literal form of witchcraft is like stirring my coffee in a certain way and like hoping for the best. Like, ain't got time for that. Vintage Wisdom Oracle, which I don't have, but I have known. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, that's on my list. Yeah, there's so many cash grabs, especially this time of year. Especially. And again, that's why I do these videos, so that you can see, like, oh my God, like, that was not it. And then, you know, sometimes price is justified and sometimes price is not. But again, I am not the gatekeeper on what something should be retailed for. Especially if it's in an indie deck. Again, there's a lot that goes into making an indie deck. You're most likely doing it by yourself. You're the one contacting everything. You're the one doing the supplying. You're the one putting it all together, etc. Fill in the blanks. So, like, I don't mind paying more for an indie deck, especially if it's coming from overseas or somewhere. Like, I don't mind it. If I'm going to love it, don't mind it. But, like, if you're a mass market company and you put your deck through it and it's, like, $40 and the deck really looks like it should be made, like, at $20 at that price point, then I kind of have a problem. Or like the quality is not that great. And I get that we also had like a paper shortage, tree shortage, and all of that going on last year. I feel like things have gotten better with the cardstock recently, especially with Hay House. So that's good to see. And again, we kind of can't control that either. I mean, it's good that we actually at least get a card deck. You're welcome. Yeah, how far you want to go with your family line. Exactly. And I mean, we all have ancestors, but not all of them are ancestors you want to work with, too. So if you're doing any kind of communication, please, please, please be specific about who you want to work with. or like, your specific, like your immediate family that has gone to the other side, because you never know who might take advantage. So like if you do spirit board work, just please put up your wards, put up your protection, open and close it correctly. It's not something that I personally do, but I do work with my pendulum a lot, and I do work with my card decks a lot. So I make sure that I'm only visualizing who I want to speak with, and then if it's a broad term, like, oh, we're just doing ancestor work and getting messages from our ancestors, that's fine. But I will also specify my the ancestors that protect me, or like my close ancestors. And sometimes that coincides with spirit guides too, because sometimes your ancestors can be a spirit guide. So just be very careful about how you communicate, and to whom you communicate, because you never know. And then again, always, always, always don't try to like fix anything that was broken due to trauma, due to bad vibes, due to like, it's not worth it. It's not worth bringing back that energy into your life. So that's just my word of caution, because you never know what kind of SHIT storm they're going to blow your way, right? Because karma has a way of working itself out, but that's why you're here. You're doing the work on this side, not over there. Their time's gone. Housewives Tarot for more modern ancestral work. Oh, I never would have even thought of that. I love that deck so much. Is there a way to hide comments on your end I can remove from here, but not on your chat? I'm seeing I've seen that you've removed it on your end. Let's see. Oop. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I can remove it on my end. Is it not coming up on your end? Pasta deck. I'm going to have to look at that, because that would be very, very fun. I love a food-related deck. The Moon Void Tarot decks. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to have to write that down. Okay, so we have the pasta deck. So just to show you guys the request list that I've got going on, I just redid it, updated it. So all of this and the back is what I got just here. I haven't even gone through to see comments or anything like that. I just kind of add it as I go. I'm going to have to figure out the Google Docs and figure out how to create a list that you can add in for that. Okay, and then what was the other one? I don't know. Oh, pasta deck. I got that. Okay. Yay, Sable. Yeah. Love, love, love cooking, love crafting, and love anything witchy. Yeah, I feel like lazy witch is just the aesthetic that I give off. Like, I do enough to get me by, but like anything over dramatic is saved for ceremony. Like I on my day to day, like I don't got time. Joanne Fabrics got tarot in. Oh my god. You know, see, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm happy that it's beginning to be more mainstream, but make it not a cash grab. So like I found the color tarot thing in Michael's, which is fantastic. Again, that's a crafty item. World Market, Cost Plus World Market sells tarot. I saw on their website they've got the intuitive heart intuitive tarot there now. They've had the Biddy tarot or the everyday tarot. So, I mean, it's fantastic, but like, I feel like some of it comes off as kitschy or like gimmicky when they sell it in their stores. Like, it's not to be taken seriously sometimes. However, I can see it being very beneficial for people who don't have metaphysical stores around, or they live in like a more conservative town and they're not allowed that. As long as it doesn't show up in a Hobby Lobby, I think we're okay. But until then, I think it's fantastic that more places that carry books and that sort of a thing are allowing that to be in their inventory, because again, it can be very beneficial for a lot of people who don't have specific stores or can't really do Amazon, or you fill in the blank. It's a great way for them to have access to it. However, if it's a 7-Eleven and they got a tarot card there, like, why? You know what I mean? Like, make it make sense, and then it'll be okay in my book. Like, as long as it's not just like a, gimmick, then we're okay. So there's a fine line, I feel, at least in my opinion. Yes, there is going to be a D&D deck and a Skyrim, and you bet your butt I am going to pre-order those. I'm so excited for the D&D. I have not played Skyrim, but my husband has, and I've watched him play. It's a gorgeous flipping game, so I'm excited about that. Oh, my chat on the screen still has them up. Oh, okay. That it might go away at the end of maybe an upload. I don't know how that would. I don't know why that's not doing it, because the ones that you've removed here, let's see. Let me see. Let me figure it out here. No, I can't really do anything about it on my end, unfortunately. I can change, let's see, oh, I can't change it while it's going. Let's see. We'll do not always show messages. There we go. So then that way it'll come up and then it'll go away, hopefully, the comment. So it won't keep stacking up like that on the screen. So hopefully that fixes it. We're learning. And like, I don't mind crystals being sold anywhere either, because it's more accessible for people. But there's the ethical sourcing of it too. Like, was it sourced right, or was it, you know what I mean? Like, we've got a little bit of a conundrum there. You have the mug? Oh! This was a gift for my birthday, so I love it. It says make your own magic. I love it. It's like a soup mug. There's so much room in here for coffee. And my coffee is now cold. ColourPop coming out with Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, makeup? I'm down. I've been trying to become an affiliate. I don't know if they're going to let me. Yeah, take my money. So I have Amazon wish lists, but like, I think they're not all public. I don't know how to make them. Like, if you guys want to see them, I don't know how to do that just yet. However, I can make a wish list, because you guys requested it last time, so I got to figure that out. Hi, IT guy. Welcome. You got your white Newman deck at Joann's? What? That's insane. Well, I haven't been in Joann's in a while. No tea, no shade to Joann's. I just haven't been there. The Michaels is closer to me, so. Roots and Wings Oracle. That sounds interesting. I like the sound of that. You know, what I've seen practicing human is most like mainstream themed decks recently have been Pip decks. So I'm sure that the Villains Tarot is going to be Pip and the Alice in Wonderland Tarot is going to be Pip. So I'm hoping, but it could be I don't know. Again, companies can put in their 2 cents. So we'll see. But yeah, I do agree that there's a lot of characters that can be used and utilized in the right way should they do so. I would love to make a Disney deck, like a full-blown Disney deck, but I don't think I can due to copyright. So I think I would have to be like allowed by Disney themselves, I think. I don't know how Minerva got the okay. Like I might have to reach out to her and see, because like that would be amazing to have to go through, because there's so many characters that would just make amazing decks or cards out of a Disney deck. And I'm talking about like, so 78 cards, there's more than 78 characters in Disney's catalog, right? The one Disney deck that I have that was from